And welcome to the show. Alyssa, so excited to be here with you today. I want to just start news this week by getting something kind of off my chest. I think elephant in the room, something we've all been talking about. Maybe the most important issue facing America right now. Gas stoves. Stoves. Yeah, a few weeks ago, there was information bandied about a quote from a commissioner at the Consumer Product Safety Commission suggested that gas stoves actually have some harmful health effects if you have them in your home, and it can, produce like a hidden hazard. And since then, that's been like the only thing that people like your former doctor, Congressman Ronnie Jackson want to talk about. It has become this huge thing in the culture where I just want to point something out. I had no idea so many Republican men were such great chefs. I had no idea. So many conservative men.
Listen.
They're preparing their own food.
Them. Forever boyfriend Joe Manchin also weighed in on this one. Very anti clutching the gas stove from his dead hands.
I gotta say, if anyone gives me a vibe, I prepare my own meals and have always prepared meals for myself. It's not Joe Manchin. I really think that if I had a morning TV show or even if I was like an Anderson Cooper type figure, I would invite some of these dudes into studio and then be like, guys, we're going to cook today. Look, we're going to cook. What's your favorite recipe? Let's do it. Let's do this. Because not only are you chefs, you are such picky chefs. Because, the more you cook, the more you develop like habits around like what you like to use. You're like, I like this pan. I like using this tool, whatever. And you get more and more in your habits as you get better at cooking, I think. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that they were just like so into cooking that they just had this deep attachment to their stoves. I mean,
they feel strongly about their stoves.
Yeah. Maybe we should ask your mommies what they think about their stoves, because I don't really think that these people honestly are. I don't think they're using their gas stoves. I think they're just.
I don't think they know how to turn on their gas stoves.
No. And maybe the fact that they don't know how to turn it on is maybe that's why they all seem like they've been huffing gas for years and years. Yeah, I don't know. I find the whole debate strange. I like using a gas stove, but information is coming out that's like, hey, this is actually bad. I'll be like, oh, cool. I'll use that information to make more informed choices.
Right.
About
What's
how
wrong
I cook.
with being informed?
Everything, Alyssa. There are two parties in this country, and one values information and taking information and incorporating it into the way that we live our lives, and the other one is anti the information. Information itself.
Also, the same group of people who are like getting information that almost all mass shootings are accomplished, whatever, with AK-15s and AR-15s and all these terrible guns that you don't need for hunting. And they're like, yeah, but you're not going to take away my rights. Erin, is a gas stove a right?
No, I don't think they had gas stoves at the beginning of the at the beginning of this country. Although I do have another question, and this is a little bit of a troll question. You know how contracts cannot be legally enforced if you were like under duress or you're impaired when you sign the contract, right?
Yeah.
Weren't all the founding fathers like really drunk all the time?
All the time on all kinds of stuff.
Right. So like, were they all drunk when like the Constitution was voted on and stuff? Like, is it a legally enforceable document?
I don't know. It's a very good question.
I know.
We should bring that up.
I am cooking with gas today. Callback. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about another thing that might be banned. This is something that Republicans want to ban, and that is the app TikTok. Alyssa, what do you make of the proposed TikTok ban, and what do you think is really going on behind the scenes?
I don't know. It all seems like very dramatic, except I will say that when China has gotten involved in things, we do tend to get a little bit skittish. Years ago, the Chinese bought the Waldorf Hotel, and then the Chinese government took it over, and presidents don't stay at the Waldorf anymore. So, I mean, TikTok is so, I mean, in America alone, I think there are over 100 million users.
Right.
So it seems like there would be utter outrage if it were banned. I'd say to me, you know, because I'm a real business person, Erin, I'd say if it were me, the Chinese company should just sell it to an American company if push came to shove, because it feels like they'd get a lot more money than it being outright banned in the US. It feels hard to ban, but I don't know why everything's taking so long with this sort of process that they're going through with foreign regulators. But I mean, it seems very dramatic and something that would cause an outright revolution if it happens. So I feel like there's going to be some middle ground.
Right. And, you know, I think that there are legitimate concerns. Like you said, a company, ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok. ByteDance's cozy relationship with the Chinese government and the ability of ByteDance employees to access data is troubling. But I still don't see how ByteDance, apart from the whole China connection, how ByteDance is any different from any social media company. You know, there have been some kind of alarmist stories that are like, oh, well, it accessed some user data, or like people were improperly looking things up. But employees at other social media companies have done the same thing. Yeah, law enforcement employees have improperly accessed information on people that had nothing to do with cases that they were actually investigating, like romantic partners. So I just feel as though, I don't know. And also, Facebook right now is really flailing. It is on its heels. And part of the reason it's on its heels is because people under 30 don't use Facebook. People don't want to use it anymore. Right. They're all on TikTok. I think that let's take a look at who would benefit the most from a TikTok ban. And that's people who are part of more traditional, quote unquote, or older social media companies that older Americans tend to use. And but I don't think Generation Z will let this happen.
I don't think they'll let it happen, though I do think, not to be, overly dramatic, there are issues. Just because ByteDance is in China, there are lots of issues with the kind of access the Chinese government has to the information Chinese companies possess. Mm-hmm. So I do put as little as possible on TikTok. Yeah.
I mean, another thing that I think this is sort of a bipartisan issue. It's not necessarily Republicans want to ban TikTok and Democrats don't want to ban TikTok. But I do think that there is kind of bolstering this reasonable apprehension about the Chinese government's close ties with companies within China. I think underneath it, there's also a little bit of fear and concern about the fact that information that spreads on TikTok isn't necessarily something that anybody knows how to control. Like Facebook sold itself as something that could be manipulated and targeted ads. And that gives like some sort of government entity or somebody whose career is made partly on messaging. It gives them like a viable, it's like, okay, this is a partner that I can use to get my message out or to reach people that I want to reach. TikTok is chaotic compared to Facebook's ability to like deliberately reach people or to like juice numbers and things like that. And so there's a part of me that thinks like it would be way easier for Republicans, for Democrats, for anybody running a political campaign if TikTok wasn't around to just be this giant question mark that could just totally fuck them up with like young voters. All it would take is like one piece of viral bad info, whether or not it's true, on TikTok. And TikTok doesn't really have the mechanisms to be like, hey guys, this is disinfo. Right. So there's something that's kind of scary about that giant question mark. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And, a TikTok ban wouldn't necessarily mean that TikTok would like be deleted from your phone. It would just mean you can't find it in the App Store anymore. Right. And if there's anything I've learned about what happens when old people try to control technology that young people like to use, it's that the young people have figured out a way around whatever blockades old people will put on before the blockades are even in place. Like me sitting in my basement understanding how to like break through the parental control and watch MTV constantly when I was in high school. Like,
I never figured that out, but I'm an oldie.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, you're older. You're trying to keep someone young from accessing technology they like. The young person already knows it way better than you. They're gonna figure a way around it.
It's true. It's very true.
It's true. We also have an update on the murders in Idaho, and it is sort of what I mean. Look, I don't like to be one of those people that's just speculating into a microphone about what definitely happened, especially when it comes to this sort of true crime type stuff. But privately, when this first broke, there was some chatter among like friends, people that I would talk to about this stuff, that this guy gave off some kind of incel vibes. Mm-hmm. And we're getting information now that vibe might have been correct.
You might have been witching.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people got those vibes from him. I'm not the only one in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of people saw and read stuff about him, and they were like, oh yeah, this guy's giving me strong angry internet incel vibes. 2 weeks before the 4 University of Idaho students were murdered last November, the man accused of killing them sent a series of messages to one of the victims on Instagram, according to an investigator that is familiar with the case. Apparently, he sent her a few messages that they probably would have gone to her drafts.
Requests.
Requests, yeah, not drafts.
Her request.
Yeah, like if you don't follow somebody and they send you a message, you don't see it unless you deliberately look at your requests.
Right.
So he didn't get a response to those messages. She might not have seen them. But it seems like he was interested in contacting at least one of the victims. And that is, man, well, I don't know. What do you make of this information, Alyssa?
I mean, well, it's very weird because we got this information on the heels of that MAGA politician in Albuquerque, mm-hmm. who also was trying to target liberals, Democrats. And he too, now there's video that he tried to contact all of these people before he went after them.
Hi, my name's Solomon Pena. Can I speak with Debbie O'Malley? Okay, well, the public record says she owns it. Do you know where she lives?
And, I mean, it's just fucking, it's creepy. It's just fucking creepy. There's no other way to really put it.
It's like what is it? A violent like entitlement to people's attention and time and
proximity and space. I mean, it's like this guy, because like by learning this information, you're like, was he trying to stalk her? Or mm-hmm. did he go kill them because she didn't reply to his fucking message that she mm-hmm. probably never saw?
Mm-hmm. Man, you know, I feel for Bryan Kohberger's family. Yeah. Because my heart breaks for them. It just must be so devastating. And so I don't want to put this on his family, but I just want to say in general and more widely, I think it's really important to teach boys and young men that they are not entitled to anybody's time or attention. You're not entitled to anybody. Totally. It doesn't matter if you feel as though you were wronged by them not giving you romantic attention. It doesn't matter if you feel like you were wronged by them not treating you like an important politician. It doesn't matter. You're not entitled to anybody's time or attention. And, you know, on the flip side, nobody is entitled to your time and attention. So, you know, it cuts both ways. This is still getting this story. The more that comes out about it, the more I'm just like, this is everything that I was afraid that it would be. Yeah. And I just, what a gross story, top to bottom. Speaking of gross, we haven't really talked about this guy on the show, but Andrew Tate, the bald influencer, because I think it's really important to look. Bald men can be very attractive and you know, own it. They can own it, you know? Yes. And then sometimes if a bad man is bald and feels bad about it, it's okay to make fun of him. I think.
I agree.
Right?
The man is a self-described misogynist. We can say whatever the fuck we want about him.
Yeah, exactly. He's been accused of raping multiple women. He's been in Romanian custody now for several weeks, not long enough, in my opinion. Details have emerged from the original case where he was accused of raping a woman, and it's really stomach churning. It's really awful. Apparently, the new evidence in this case includes WhatsApp messages that Andrew Tate sent to the woman that basically are like, yeah, I raped you and it was great.
And I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. It made me feel great. It turned me on.
He's a disgusting person, and he deserves everything bad that could possibly happen to him. But I think the reason that we can't just ignore him forever, even though it'd be great if we could, is that there's a lot of young men who are really into him, who think he's great. And this is kind of happening at the same time that a bunch of other things are happening. Young men are having less sex than, in recent history, for as long as we've been keeping, sex tabs on everybody. Young men aren't having sex. The young men aren't having sex, and they're really mad at women because they're not having sex. And the people who are mad at women for not having sex are the same people that are sort of championing laws that make it less safe for women to have sex, that make the cost really high. So at the same time that the cost of having sex as a young woman is getting higher and higher with a lack of access to abortion, threatened access to contraception, a complete lack of a social safety net, at least in the US, as the cost is getting high, the quality of men is like getting lower.
Lower and lower.
People are like, what is wrong with these women? It's like, I don't know. Basic economic principles. Why would we?
This supply and demand, baby. But this guy, when the Greta Thunberg of it all happened, I was like, who is this person? Erin, I had never heard of him.
Ugh,
I had to look up his Wikipedia page. And let me tell you something. Let me just revisit the Wikipedia page for a minute, because honestly, how he's not in jail yet when this is his Wikipedia page? Okay. Following his kickboxing career, he began offering paid courses and memberships through his website, and later rose to fame promoting an ultra-masculine, ultra-luxurious lifestyle. A self-described misogynist, Tate's controversial commentary has resulted in his suspension from all social media platforms. The Romanian police, this is how Greta got him, and this is what they got him for. Romanian police allege that the group coerced victims into creating paid pornography for social media.
Wait a second. So Can I just pause and say it was an MLM for dudes? It's a Tupperware party of sex trafficking.
Yes. This is his Wikipedia page. This isn't anything but his Wikipedia page. He's a bad fucking dude. Like, how? And there are so many people. And of course, then because I didn't know who he was, I went down the rabbit hole. And he's like a global Joe Rogan, but worse.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. He makes Joe Rogan look like Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
I don't think they belong in the same. I mean, I don't think they're in the same. Maybe they have some like overlap of fans. I would prefer.
That's
if it's
what I mean. His
but
fans.
Like, yeah, that is, he's such a bad guy. But so many young men think he's really cool and great. And I just gotta say, guys, if you hate women so much, like, you don't have to hang out with us.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't want to hang out with you.
People.
You can hang out with other dudes. It's okay. Like, especially in Europe, close male friendships are less stigmatized than they are in the US. Like, it is hang out with each other and just like leave women alone. Like, leave us alone.
Away. Do your own thing.
Yeah,
find your own people.
Do your own thing. Find your own people. Drive your dumb cars off your own dumb cliffs. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just like, I don't understand why it's like not only, I hate women. Why won't these dumb bitches fuck me? It's like, well, because you don't like them and they don't like you.
Right. So stay away.
Anyway, one quick more thing that about Andrew Tate and why whatever happens to him, he deserves. He moved to Romania originally because he thought that post Me Too, Western society took rape too seriously. Yeah. So that's that. I hope he has the day he deserves.